Welcome back. Today we have Monday Night Football. Just me and Stain.
The two sharpest in the building.
The sharpest in the building, some would say. We have the Bucs going into Detroit, and we have the Texans at a late game versus the Seahawks, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. We are going to be breaking everything down in these two games, along with taking spreads, along with some player props we do like. Make sure before you do anything else, you drop a subscribe down below. Only 20% of people that watch these videos are subscribed to the channel, so make sure you go drop a subscribe down below. But, again, no Nick, no Sexy today. Sexy will be here for the Sunday recap. You've already seen the Sunday recap. That's fire. I forgot.
Yeah.
All right. So, starting, Bucs Lions. The total of this game is 52.5. And let me tell you, that's nuts. There is no one playing on Detroit's side of things. Like, I'm talking nobody on their defense. I feel like I could get up and go play.
Destroyed defense versus destroyed offense in Tampa. No receivers, no DBs.
Insane. Terry Arnold, out. Kirby Joseph, most likely, out. Avonte Maddox, out. DJ Reader, out. And
Branch suspended?
Branch is suspended, yes. Yeah. So that will also be out. They have no one. If they have Kirby and Brian Branch out along with their two starting corners, I really am like, what the hell are they going to do?
This is where Aiden Hutchinson earns a decoy case.
Has to. And on the Bucs side of things, their defense is perfectly fine. It's their offense that is absolutely dismantled. Again, we don't have finals of anything yet, but just assuming right off the rip. Again, you guys are seeing this on Sunday, so you'll have more details of what everything's happened. So if I say anything that's incorrect, it changed. But most likely, as of right now, we will not see Emeka Buka, Chris Godwin, Bucky Irving. Mike Evans is going to be back. So you will have Mike Evans most likely. He's back to limited practice, so we'll see. By the time you guys are watching this video, you will know. So maybe they have Mike.
Maybe.
But does that make that big of a difference?
Is it even like 100% Mike?
No. And like, here's my thing. I think I'm just going to like, it's a high total, but I like the total of 52.5. Like, this just feels like it has shootout written all over it. Tampa Bay is one of the best run defenses. Detroit is one of the best run defenses. And their secondaries are both horrible. Jared Goff's line for passing is at 255. Baker's at 245. I love Baker Mayfield over 245.5 passing yards. I feel like that's a perfect spot, despite it being a high line, right? We look at it, no Brian Branch again, like I said before. That does make a big difference. It doesn't really matter who's catching the ball. He's still hitting over these lines. He hit it over last week, and Emeka went down the first quarter. It's not like he went down the fourth, right? Like, he wasn't there for 90% of this game. And even when he was there, they missed on two wide open routes. So I think they're going to try to spread the ball out. I truly, truly think in my heart that Ted's is going to have a pretty big role in this one. I get he's like 145 pounds soaking wet. I understand. But he is unbelievably twitchy. And I think they're going to try to get him the ball.
Especially against backup DBs.
Yeah, it's like they're going to make him look like he did at Oregon, and he's going to have like 8 for 100. Anyway, I really like that play. I also really, really like David Montgomery to go under 45.5 rushing yards. Tampa Bay allows the third fewest rushing yards so far this season to opposing running backs. Again, no Brian Branch, who, again, I keep saying that over and over again, but he's truly a game changer at the safety position. And I think he's a phenomenal box safety as well. Like, he can come down and play the run really well. So for them not to have him in the game, I think is going to cause us to just be, again, passing scripts, to where if they can't run the ball early, they're going to go to Jared Goff's arm and just rely on it. They have a healthy offense. They have a healthy receiving room. I think David Montgomery in the receiving game could be an option, but in the running game, I just don't see it much. CMC, Saquon, Breece all missed their lines versus Tampa Bay. I feel like it's going to be a very almost similar game to not last night and Thursday Night Football, but I'm trying to think of a game where it's just the cannons of their arm, or like Seahawks versus Tampa Bay, where it just was Sam Darnold, Baker going back and forth. It was awesome. And I think we could see something similar tonight with these two teams and not much on the ground. But what are your thoughts on the game?
With the Baker over, I really like Cade Otton over. I feel like we've seen last year, even the year before, like since Baker's been in Tampa, Cade doesn't really have a role as like a serious receiving threat when everyone else is in. But like as soon as a couple guys goes down, like he becomes an option in the slot for 100%. Baker. And we've even seen it very recently this year. He's gotten 50 yards last week and 80 yards the week before. It seems like any time between Godwin, Emeka, and Evan, two of those three are out, Cade Otton becomes a serious option. And his line sitting at 41.5 yards right now. You're taking the Baker over. Got a little double parlay there. Got a little correlation. I like it. Emeka's going to be out. Godwin's going to be out. And even if Mike Evans is back, which he is practicing, he should be, I still don't believe he's like 100%. I think if everyone was healthy, they probably would have pushed him another week. I think he's just kind of being forced to play. So I really think Cade at just 40 yards when he's done this in the past 2 weeks, and now this is actually his best opportunity of those 3 weeks. I'm shocked it's so low.
It's not even just the receivers are out, but like Bucky's out as well. Like they really have no
Which is kind of like
options.
swept under the rug. Like Rashad is a good fill-in, but like Bucky's a great back.
Yeah.
Like we don't really talk enough about him not being there.
It's that combined with the fact of like you look at when Emeka went down, everything before Emeka was Bucky's out. Now that Emeka went down, it's like Emeka's out.
Yeah.
It's like
No, they're
like they just keep
up.
sweeping them under the rug.
Up.
Also, again, this is indoors, gentlemen. This is in Detroit, so there's no weather concerns. There's no anything. It's played in a dome on turf. I'm 90% sure Detroit's turf. So it should be a fast-paced game. I feel like this is going to be a high-scoring one. Which side of the total do you like? The total's 5.5 in favor of the Lions at home.
The spread or total?
Spread, excuse me. 5.5. You crushed last Sunday, going 10-1-1. What is the sharpest in the room thinking?
I really like Detroit in this one. I think Baker right now is my MVP, but at some point, man, not having your wide receiver 1, 2, and 3, Evans is going to be back, whatever. Detroit coming off a loss, playing at home. They're a great team. They don't like to be embarrassed. Banged up DBs or not, I really like Detroit at home in this one.
I think this is the one time I'm going to disagree and go with the Bucs 5.5. I'm going to take the points here. I think it's going to end in a close game. I think Detroit can definitely still win it. I'm not saying the Bucs are guaranteed to win here, which is why I wouldn't take their money line. But 5.5 feels like a little bit too much for how well Baker's been playing. And like if you give him one last drive to get within 5, I feel like it can happen.
Every single game they played has been one score outside of last week, but they were against a shattered Niners team.
Yeah. And now they're playing a shattered Detroit team. So fire. Let's keep it rolling.
I
think
I got to go with Detroit.
I get it. All right. So you're going to Detroit. I'm on the Bucs there. We have our player props instead. Now we're going to Seattle. There is a chance of rain in this game. Not super high, but there is a chance. Again, we're filming this on Friday. Everything could change by Sunday when you guys are watching this. But for what we know now, there's a chance of rain. But before we go any further, make sure you guys are signing up on BetMGM right now using code DRAFT, D-R-A-F-T. The link will be in the description. You will get up to $1,500 in bonus bets. So again, if you put in $10, you can get up to however much in bonus bets back when you place your first bet. But not only that, not only are we taking lockety locks, but you're also going to be able to get the Big Dog membership along with this when you use code DRAFT. So you're going to get Nick's access to all of his fantasy advice, all of his waiver wire rankings, all of his regular weekly buy rankings. But not only that, you'll be able to get to a Q&A with Nick personally to be able to help ask you your questions or answer your questions that you have for your fantasy teams moving forward on Saturdays. So make sure to sign up, use code DRAFT, deposit $10, deposit how many dollars you need to get your locks in and lock in with us and BetMGM. With that being said, though, playing a Texans defense that was already good before the bye. Now they're off of a bye. D'Amico Ryan's off of a bye. What are we doing here? Seattle's looked good, and they're only getting better. Beating a Jags team last week. Kind of the narrative there, but the spread of this one is 3. So a solid 3 could push.
Do we know much about Seattle's secondary? Who's in, who's out?
No one's practicing.
No one still?
So we'll see if people are actually
good
coming
about
back.
my picks.
Yeah, no, I mean, right now, everyone is limited as of right now. Now, again, by the time you guys are seeing this, I'm assuming Reek will be back. That's my assumption. Concussion, Reek will be back. Julian Love should be back. He should be limited by the end of this week. Devon Witherspoon should be limited by the end of this week. I would have to assume if I were to label it on who's most likely to be back, it'd be Woolen, Love, and then Witherspoon. But I'm not quite sure. I mean, Love is also hamstring. Witherspoon's knee. It's kind of tough there. Woolen has the easiest timeline because it's concussion.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
He also hasn't been a
good
dog.
No. Not his 6'4", 4.2 speed like you would assume he'd be pretty good. But no, he hasn't been playing well. Either way, though, the narrative for me in this one is both of these backfields have been confusing as fuck. The Kenneth Walker to Zach Charbonnet back and forth has been more than just a headache. Same thing with Woody Marks, Nick Chubb. Where's the volume going? So that's when we go to look at lines. All right, well, who's actually looking like they're going to see more rushing yards or where the line's at? Right now, Nick Chubb has now surpassed Woody Marks once again in rushing yards. Kenneth Walker is over Zach Charbonnet in rushing yards. If we go to receiving yards, Woody Marks, Zach Charbonnet are over Kenneth Walker and Nick Chubb. So that's where it's like you kind of have an understanding of where they kind of want to go with these roles. Clearly, it's going to be very split, which makes it hard to bet on. But the one thing you can bet on, in my opinion, is going to be the Woody Marks over 12.5. I feel like that is his spot to where I really like his receiving yards. He saw, despite not having much production against Baltimore, but that was also the worst game you could possibly see with your own eyeballs. Woody Marks is a player that has played almost all, when the game's close, the passing down work. He's played almost all of it over the past 2 weeks. And he saw 50 receiving yards the previous week. Now, as you see 50, absolutely not. But 12.5 is not a high line for a guy that's seeing all of that passing work against a Seattle defense that allows the second most receiving yards to opposing running backs. So I feel like if we're just going off the numbers, getting off the snaps, like he has the highest opportunity work share to be very similar to last night, like Jalen Warren-esque, where they're going to design maybe one or two receiving screens, flats for him, but he's just going to constantly probably see checkdowns in this game. I'm going to assume they're going to try to nullify Nico running 90 million deep posts on them. So they're probably going to play a little bit further back. This team also traditionally runs a ton of man, and Woody Marks, man coverage versus a linebacker, I'm going to take that every single day of the week. So, again, 12.5 for Woody Marks feels like a good spot. What are your thoughts on the game? I
can't tell if this is just me wanting this, but Kenneth over 48.5.
I like it. I mean, you
Is
talked
it a
about
want or a need?
Yeah, you talked about it being possible weather.
Possible weather. Yeah, we don't have anything confirmed. It's
just
in Seattle, so.
If there is a defensive matchup, I'm not going to act like the Texans are going to shut them down. But if there is a tougher matchup for JSN, it probably would be the Texans
100%.
secondary, where they have to lean on Kenneth a little bit more. Even though Zach Charbonnet has been annoying as hell, like you have Kenneth Walker in fantasy, he might be taking the touchdowns. This is just a rushing yard prop. And Kenneth, by far, is the more efficient back. I think if he can get 10 carries, that's really all he needs. Like, he averages 5 yards a carry. We don't need, like, a workhorse day from Kenneth. He doesn't need 14, 15, 16. If he gets 10, maybe a lucky 11, I really think this could be a big game for him. Again, especially with the matchup that they might not be able to feed JSN for 125 receiving yards. He's probably still going to get probably still get 80, but I think they might have to lean on the run game a little bit more in this one.
Yeah, I took JSN pairing with that under 84.5 receiving yards. Yeah. I mean, this Texans defense allows the 5th fewest receiving yards per game. Derek Stingley does shadow. This team also has the healthiest injury report I've ever seen.
Texans?
Yes. It's like
off a bye.
And off a bye. Like, they just are not that beat up. Despite week 1, week 2, they were a little bit banged up. But now they feel like they're pretty healthy. They're really ready to roll. Off the bye definitely helped them. And we're going to get a Derek Stingley shadow over JSN for this game. I mean, like, it feels like this is the perfect time where D'Amico Ryans had an extra week just to be like, we're going to fuck this dude up. Yeah. And he ain't seeing shit. So I like his under. And 84.5 is such a high line, dude. Like, it's so high. I don't even know. What's Nico at in comparison?
66.
Yeah, 66 for Nico and 20 yards higher is JSN. Now, I understand you're probably looking at that. Well, he's only hit under this in one game against Arizona. Well, Arizona is going to do a very similar thing to what the Texans are going to do. Force them to run the ball. Like, that's what they want.
Even against Arizona, like, it looks like he was close. And at the end of the day, he was. 79 is close to 84. But, like, Arizona did a good job holding them well under that until, like, some garbage time throws.
If you remember, the last throw of the game was to get them in field goal range. It was JSN 20 yards down the field.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, if they don't have that bullshit, then it's going to be a drastically different game there. My only worry would be looking at the run game for the Seahawks is despite them having the most confusing running attack of all time and being inefficient as it is, they have the 12th highest run blocking grade. So it's like they can run the ball if they probably want to. They just have to stop doing dumb shit. Like they just have to stop getting in their
Lock
own way.
like a little bit.
Like just stop getting in your own way, and you will be fine. But I do feel pretty good about the Texans. The Texans' offense has looked a lot better. Do we believe that? That's more the question of like, do we believe the Texans are what they were against Baltimore and 444 points? Or are they more so what we saw like weeks 1 and 2, or they're struggling to score 20?
I think it's not going to be like an either or thing. Like first few weeks, it looked like, oh, this is like a bottom 5 offense.
Awful.
Last week, it looked like, okay, we're back to like rookie CJ Stroud. Like maybe they could catch a hot streak. I think they'll be more in the middle of the pack. But I do think they could look hot coming off the bye against a banged-up Seattle secondary, to where I would be a little bit more bullish on them, at least for this week, rather than season long. This week, I like them. I like Nico. I'd lean his over. And I just to get into it, I'm leaning Houston +3.
Houston +3. I'm also on Houston +3. I was very in on the Seahawks last week. But I think the Texans off a bye have a really good opportunity here to go into Seattle. Late game, but +3 feels like a very good spot for this one. And plus, you get good value, -102 right now on BetMGM. So make sure to lock that in, and make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, all sort of fun shit down below, and we'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.